Okay, everybody, we're now going to head over to Unravel 2 by ripWSB. Now, this was supposed to be a race between Rip and Siebes5. They did an Unravel 2 run at InstaSpeedathon game together. Unfortunately, Siebes has had other commitments, so we've not been able to have the race, but we have been able to have a solo run of Unravel 2 anyway, which is really, really good. So ripWSB is going to be doing the Unravel 2 run for us today, which is going to be incredible. I remember watching this last time, and it was an absolutely beautiful game, so I'm really looking forward to this one as well. Just a quick reminder, of course, that we are doing this as a charity event for EveryoneCan. We have £130 raised so far, and I believe the next run is the Super Mario Galaxy 2 run. I'll just double... No, it's not the next run, actually. The Super Mario Galaxy 2 run isn't for another 2 hours. So in 2 hours' time, we will have the Super Mario Galaxy 2 run. There is a target for that one, the perfect run for the Super Mario Galaxy 2 any percent run. If you guys do want to see that, it only needs £10 more for us to see it. So if you guys want to see that, then make sure to donate that to that target as well. Include it onto your donations. It doesn't cost anything extra, and all the proceeds go to EveryoneCan. And don't forget to add a poll in as well for the with your donation. I believe there's a Quake 2 poll, and Quake 2 is actually the next run. So Quake 2, easy any percent, that's the next run. And currently the left-hand option is winning with £10. Central/hidden is second place with £5, and right-hand has 0. But if you guys want to change that, then be sure to put your donations in to change the course of that if you want to. Have we got anything else that we want to say? I don't believe so. So we're now going to go over to Unravel 2 by ripWSB. So put your hands together. Rip, you have the floor.
All right. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. This is Unravel 2. This is going to be an all challenges run, which there are 20 of these challenge levels throughout the game. There's 7 of the main chapters in the game, and then each of 5 of the chapters have this like little separate area with 4 challenge levels per area. So we'll just go ahead and start into it then. So in 3, 2, 1, go. So we're gonna start off. It's gonna be pretty quick in this area. There's some good levels set up where we can just kind of cheese it really well like that. So this main technique we'll be using a lot, especially in solo, is called, or we've come to call it, neo climbing, because we found a video on YouTube from a user named NeoPhenom who discovered this technique. There was a way to kind of climb walls on PC only using the keyboard, but it was kind of slow, and then this new technique allows for climbing vertical walls just super quickly. You can do it in solo, you can do it in co-op, and it allows for just a lot more easily completing these harder challenge levels. So we'll do it again here. Instead of interacting with any bit of the level, like I said, the start of this challenge level, or the challenge run, the way we play it, or I play it, I guess it's just me today. Shout out to Siebes. She couldn't be here, but she's my co-op partner in this game and other games and life in general, so always miss her being here. It's a lot more fun when she's here, and it will probably go a lot quicker if she was. But so that's the second one. We'll go into the third one, touch and go. Again, we're gonna have more goat climbs. Oh, we call it goat climbs just because it always reminds us of Guacamelee. So a little shout out to Guacamelee for being a fun game. So we just climb the wall there. We'll climb the wall over here. Usually you got to push the buttons and use the stuff up top that moves to kind of interact with. So instead we just get to the buttons early. I'm gonna try a cheeky little climb there. Sometimes it's a little hard to control that. So we'll just do the old tried and true, wait for the stuff to move. That's kind of how you would normally get around the level anyway, and just kind of knock it out that way. So it's 3 out of 20 done. We got tilted done, can't you line them done, touch and go done, and we'll be moving on to motion sickness, which is a bit more daunting of a level. And the bad thing about challenge levels is if you die or get stuck in it somehow, you have to restart the whole level over. And granted, they're pretty short levels, but there's no checkpoints within the level, like there are in the main game. So you could get all the way to the end of the challenge level and get like right next to the finish. And if you die, you just have to start the whole thing over again. So this one's kind of scary because there's a bunch of little flamey dust bunny things that are trying to kill you. You've got the molten liquid below. Let's see if we can make this jump. Nope. Take 2. Got a lot of spinny things. We got these flaming dust bunnies down below that we're going to need to time a jump to get up to that knot. And then this one, you're supposed to hang both of them, but we're going to try and get up with just one. All right, there we go. But yeah, the main thing with challenge levels or challenge runs is you can start wherever you want as long as you get through all 20 levels. So I like to start in this section above chapter 5, and then we'll work our way up above chapter 6. Basically my setup is whatever kind of minimizes the movement in between these challenge areas. So from the chapter 5 challenge area, we go over here, don't go into the main level, and then we'll make our way up on top of this is in a lighthouse, and it's a main like focal hub of the main game. So we get into the top of the lighthouse, and then we got 4 more portals to go into. So this first one is Lifeline. We're gonna cheese this one. There's a little bit of a trick. I'm gonna see if it'll work. Shout outs to Alex Gannon SM64 that found this. There's this one little rolly thing right here, and sometimes if you go into it, oh no, I'll come back. We'll try one more time. It's weird, if you grab it and jump at the same time, it'll like propel you away. Oh, come on. There we go. Probably not worth the time, but it was just a cool little thing he found, or they found. And unfortunately, I think this is the only challenge level where you have an object like that you can interact with. But it's a really interesting mechanic, and in the main run, the full game run, there's a couple objects that while you don't interact with them quite the same way, you can get really weird physics kind of reactions from them. So this top level challenge area is probably the toughest, kind of 3 or 4 levels in a row. This one we're going to be using a neo climb, hopefully at the right time, and try not to lose it in the middle of it. That's kind of a sketchy one because if you drop it, you got no backup, and you just restart the whole level again. Granted, it's a quick level, but it is a little bit scary going into that final wall knowing you have to make it, or else you're dropping down and having to restart the whole thing. So that's 2 of the 4. Then we got Great Balls of Fire coming up. There's not really any way to cheese this one as far as solo goes that I know of, but I'll try for a quick setup the first one. It's a bit sketch. If I can make the jump, I should have waited. The one thing on this level for some reason is sometimes the yarnies can pull on each other. So I'm going to try to do this without pulling the yellow yarny into the fire. Sometimes you can get this to you can get it to drop and grab at the same time and kind of wait. There's cycles if you have to wait for these burning balls of fire. So instead we'll just pull this, tie this off, and this is kind of how you normally do it, and just wait for one of these to roll down. Not a big time loss, but makes it a little easier to do this last part. And just kind of jump over, merge, don't fall into the flames. And that's the 3rd of the chapter 6 area. So that's Great Balls of Fire, and after each of these levels we are rescuing one of our yarny friends. It unlocks all these different head shapes because you start out with 2 in the main game. So I'm rocking the kind of like the old school Unravel 1 heads, but you get a pretty good, I mean, obviously you get 20 different heads now if you unlock them all, and some pretty cool looking ones. This level you just kind of hold right, and it's all about just swinging. There's no tricks to this one. Hopefully you get some good swings. I'm gonna play it kind of safe. Hopefully that swing is always the big question, is if you make that or not. And then just try and dodge all the stuff that's going to kill you, and just kind of swing to the end. That one's not too bad. It's a little sketchy if you don't get that first run and jump, because all those flaming dust bunnies are like flying around and definitely getting in the way. So they can be a little aggravating. So we saved all the yarnies up top in this chapter 6 area. And the reason I go to 5 and then 6 and then drop down to 4 is because you can go right and use that neo climb to just kind of make your own path in life. And we're going to drop down into the area instead of going down into the lighthouse and then down a level. Every time you interact with that little elevator inside the lighthouse, you got to wait a little bit. So instead, we're just going to hop out, drop down straight into the next level. This one is a bit tough. It's got some really precise neo climbing because there's a bit of a protrusion up top. So we're gonna see if we can get over that. Nope, not first try. And I use slow-mo to help. I think we made it. Okay, not too bad. To kind of help, I don't know. I guess just a personal preference. You could probably do that in regular speed, but going in slow-mo seems to help. But it kind of bumps the yarnies out a little bit. But if you just keep kind of doing the neo climb, the goat climb, whatever you want to call it, you can eventually make your way up. So we'll cheese that one. The next one will semi-cheese, called Connect Potential. We'll drop down. And then the second half of it will be just kind of like you would normally do it. You might be able to neo climb up the right side. There's like a little hill, but it's kind of slanted at an incline, so it's not a straight vertical surface. So I haven't really tried too much trying to get up that, but bit of a daunting hill. So instead we'll just kind of push this, oh come on, this little pot around. And we're going to need to catapult the red yarn eventually. So we'll get this set up, our little trebuchet. Gonna push this back. Use the yellow yarny to keep that pot standing still. I guess we're gonna shoot the yellow yarny. No, don't fall off. Bummer. So we just do that again. Hopefully the bucket will play nice this time. You have to push the bucket like precariously close to the edge in order to get that little lever down on the left side. So let's see if we do this a little bit more carefully. Hit. Good job. There we go. And then just kind of pull up as the red yarny shoots across. And that one took a long time to figure out casually. There's a couple of these challenge levels. Siebes and I did this together at the same time, and just a couple of them really stumped us. There was one up top in the chapter 6 section where I think we eventually had to look up, or I looked up because she didn't want to because she was a trooper. We had to look up the solution because just could not figure out like the order of what we needed to tie and then climb up, and it was brutal. So slide on by. That's not how you do it, but one's pretty straightforward. If you can jump off the ledge, there we go. Just a bunch of swinging again. These little knots, these anchor points, will eventually kind of drop away, so you have to be pretty quick. That's the only problem with this one is if you don't get the good cycle, I'm just gotta take it slow, then that flame up top will be right in the way. So we'll just try and do this a little bit more casually. I'm gonna wait for this flame. That was kind of close. And then we swing up and around, just more swinging. I'm not sure where. Okay, there's the flamies. No, don't die on the very end. And then scarily make that jump. So that one's pretty straightforward. There's a little Donnie Darko looking head. Or I guess Frank, the little rabbit guy. So that one can be like it's straightforward, but just timing of the swings and then avoiding those little flame guys can be a little frustrating, but that'll take us to jump around, which is another good example of the neo climb being super useful. This one is also a bit sketchy at the end because you have to time it. You have these two flame dudes coming at you, and if you kind of struggle at all right here, okay, we're good, then it can get you. So that's one where in co-op it's a little bit easier because ways to get up and over the walls in co-op, you don't have to solely rely on this neo climb. So it makes it a little bit easier. You got some backups. And then the funny thing with this one is you see that's usually what happens is all the stones get knocked away by that rolling thing. And then that's how you get to access the final Yarny. But in that case, since we got there early, you get to see that happen right as the Yarnies are leaving through the portal. But that'll bring us into the chapter 3 section, which will start with a level called Fear the Dark. Pretty straightforward. There's one little neo climb that kind of helps, but for the most part, it's just going to be as intended. There's a quicker way to do this, but it's really tough and definitely not something I want to be doing like halfway through the run, where you can neo climb up this wall right there at the start. So we're not going to do that. It's a bit precarious. So instead, we're going to debate this flame, push that down, push this over so we have a little bit of a platform, and then hopefully get the swing off before the other flame gets us. All right. And then this is where you could potentially climb up to and then just skip like that whole area. And co-op, that one's really easy and really fast to do with a mechanic that is kind of been known as zoops. And you can use those. That's the biggest difference between solo and co-op, especially in the main game. The challenge runs themselves aren't that different from each other between solo and co-op, but in like the main full game of Unravel 2, huge difference between solo and co-op runs. So we're gonna swing down, call it a mosh. This one's, I'm gonna play it a little bit safe, which isn't saying too much. There's a wall coming up that you can neo climb over. I'm just going to wait for the flame and just push this box. It's kind of on a slant, so it's a little tricky to get over, but it's still doable. And then we're gonna just kind of wait out these dust bunnies, hopefully get this jump over, and then just time some swings through these guys, and that one's that. So in theory, simple. It's just a lot of things that can kill you, and that's not cool. So we save another Yarny, and we move on to You Keep Me Hanging On, which is another puzzle. This one's straight up, you just do it as intended. There's nothing that we found that you can kind of cheese this one, and unfortunately it's all about swinging. So if you don't like swings, then this level probably isn't for you. But it's just a waiting game. You have to wait for this thing to roll. I think is it a bucket up top? What is it? It's just like a rolly thing. I don't know. Some sort of like. All right, let's focus on not dying. So I'm just kind of swinging back and forth and trying to get this flame to not kill me. At some point, kind of in the middle of this level, another flamey dude will pop out, and then you'll be just avoiding both of them. It's not too bad if you just kind of go back and forth and just keep your swings pretty simple. Nothing too crazy. And then here at the end, when it rolls down, you're just going to time the swings. Hopefully grab the right knot. Because if you grab kind of the wrong anchor point, it'll change your string length. And then your swing will be not what you expected. So that one's always a bit of a heartbreaker to, you know, knock over the stuff that you can get to the Yarny. And then just screw up the last swings trying to get over there. So you spend like 40 seconds evading all these little flames, and then you just fall into the water and you can't get out. But we got one more in this section. There's a couple ways to do this one. I'm going to play the safe route because I'm a baby. So we'll just kind of leave the red Yarny there, jump across with the yellow, and then use the red to get this guy off our tail. Going to use this little box to jump up. You can see the Yarny on the left. This one in co-op is really quick. You just zoop up and completely cheese it, and then it's not too bad. The other option is you can run, cross, both, you know, stay merged, jump up on the picnic table, and then run to the very far left of it, and then drop down and kind of swing over. That swing is a bit tricky, so as far as individual levels go, that's the way to go. But for like a full run, having this level be so far into the run, just gonna play it safe. So that's chapter 3. We got one more chapter, so 4 more levels total. Down under chapter 2, kind of in the basement area. So this is the one time we use the elevator inside of the lighthouse. And that's what we're avoiding earlier on when we just kind of went out of bounds. So we're gonna drop down. This one has a really fun thing to do in co-op where you can zoop past everything and just kind of like fuse inside the pipe. So instead we're gonna have to tie these knots and swing around. Ooh! Try not to die. It's the main way to save time in these runs. Probably any run in general, but tie both of those knots. I'm gonna push one of these weirdly small paint cans across. Hopefully not get knocked out by the paint can when it drops. All right. So that's a pretty fun one. Straightforward. The next 3 levels are pretty straightforward. So it's a pretty chill way to end the run. There's one of these levels where it's a bit dicey. You got to drop down this narrow chute and avoid a bunch of little flaming dust bunnies. So that kind of sucks, but other than that, it's not too bad. This next one coming up, you just ride this little like brick down a slide and avoid getting electrocuted. For some reason, everything is supercharged. So, yep, that's what you don't want to do. Take it for granted. I like to jump up, and you can stay on this brick and not jump at all, but it just seems super wonky. And all right, that's what you get for saying it is a nice chill ending to the run. Take 3. So jump, jump, jump. There we go. Stay on this time. There we go. Jump over. No. That was close. There we go. Oh. So yeah. Then you got to make the jump at the end. All right. We're seeing all sorts of this level, unfortunately. The old electric slide meltdown. Stay on. Stay on. Jeez. All right. Whatever. 6 times the charm or whatever this is. There we go. Grab the knot. That's how you do it. Easy. So yeah, 2 more levels. Again, shout outs to Siebes5, my co-partner. We've run this game quite a bit in the last year or 2. It was a nice thing. Like the one of a few positives out of the pandemic was we had a bunch of time to play games together. And this was one of them that we learned and then just kind of stuck around with, and it's been really fun. So there's lots of ways to play this game, and in each of them is pretty fun to do. So we're going to try a neo climb here to start this one, and then this is the level where it's really sketchy at the end, so just avoid all those flames. And then here we're just going to try and hopefully drop down right through the middle. Cool. I guess if I had to pick between this one and the last one going well, I would want this one to go well, so I'll take it. And then that brings us to the last level. And then once we free the last Yarny, at the end of this little like save the Yarny cutscene, it fades to black, and that'll be when time ends. So probably another minute or so, give or take. Huge shout outs to InstaSpeedathon. We really enjoyed the past ones that we've seen. We were able to participate in the last one, and they've all been really fun. Love the runs. Huge shout outs to all the runners, the donators, InstaSim for managing all of us eccentric runners. So this one is just a matter of climbing up and over these pipes. This one has a really quick and easy co-op solution where you just kind of zoop past everything, which is kind of nice. So instead, we're just going to use that yellow Yarny to keep everything there. Somehow squeeze our way through that little tiny gap at the end. So slight cheese, but not too much. I'm not actually sure how you're supposed to do that normally, but probably not like that. So then time will end once this screen fades to black, and that should be time. That is an all challenges run. Unravel 2, you can start anywhere you want. All the challenge levels are really fun to do. They're quite a bit more challenging, hence the name, than the main game. which as far as the devs kind of conveyed to us, the main game's this kind of like chill thing that you can play with 2 people, because the first Unravel game solo, this one you can play co-op. So they wanted to be more friendly, and you know, adults and their kids could play or friends could play and not have to worry about it being too intense. So these challenge levels are a nice kind of compromise where you have these really difficult puzzly sections, and then the main game can be a little bit more casual friendly, so to speak. So lots of ways to play. Thank you so much for letting me show it off. I wish Seeps was here, probably would have gone better, but maybe next time, and looking forward to some more runs today and tomorrow.
No problem at all. Thank you very much for taking part today. And of course, we would be more than happy to have another Unravel 2 run at InstaSpeedathon. It's a really nice looking game, in all fairness. I still haven't had a chance to play it yet myself, but maybe one day. Anyway, thank you very much for that run. And to anybody who wants to go and donate, don't forget that we are doing this as a charity event for Everyone Can. We have raised £130 in total so far. And our goal, of course, by the end of the marathon is 750. The next run, which is the Quake 2 run, does have a poll, and currently the left-hand option is winning. But if you guys want to change that, then be sure to put your donations in towards that poll as well. And later on today, we have the Super Mario Galaxy 2 run, which has a perfect run target to meet. And that only needs £10 more to see that. So if you guys want to see that, then be sure to put your donations in towards that target. It doesn't cost anything extra to put it towards an incentive, and all the money goes to Everyone Can. We're also doing merch sales, of course, and if you guys want to buy some merch, if you type !merch or !eBay in the chat, then you'll find the InstaSim store and the eBay listings for the mugs, the duck mugs and the InstaSpeedathon mug, and you also get a coaster to go with it as well if you want to. And international shipping is also available on those items, and half of all the profits go to Everyone Can for those as well. And you guys get a nice mug and coaster to go with it. Also, don't forget that we are doing a giveaway at the end of the marathon, so that everybody who donates £5 or more to the fundraiser will be entered into that giveaway. The £5 or more donation counts as one entry, so if you donate more than once for more than £5, then you will get more than one entry. And that's for an Xbox Live pass, a 2-month pass, I think it is, that we will be giving away to the lucky winner at the end of the marathon. So thank you to Rip for the run today. Unfortunately, of course, Seebs couldn't be here, but hopefully next time we can have another co-op run at InstaSpeedathon. But thank you very much for taking part today, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Have you got any final remarks you'd like to make?
No, just everybody have a good day, I guess. Yeah.
No problem at all. Thank you very much, and feel free to pop by around and carry on watching the marathon as well.
Heck yeah.